you are a polished kind of anachronism in a Monaghan accent. You have an extremely wide range of sports, including darts, that you're interested in, and it's all about Ali Pally for many people this year. I was just talking to you before the show, presuming it was going ahead like behind closed doors, what with restrictions and so forth, and let's be honest, it'll be a bit of a spreader event if as sporting events go, but it's going ahead as normal.
It is going ahead as normal. It is almost like a super spreader event when you see the images on television. You do wonder and question yourself, but then again, England have kind of done things differently. The UK has done things slightly differently to all different sports. Like, interesting you mentioned there as well. Like, I saw the quotes from Kevin Kilbane talking to one of the shows there with us in the last week or so, talking about the fact that, as a footballer, you never get to actually celebrate Christmas. Like, while he was a professional footballer, you're not celebrating Christmas because you have those games, as you mentioned, on Stephen's Day or the 27th or what it might be. You don't get to have your little Bailey's coffee at Christmas. You don't get to pig out in your mad dinners because you're probably training on Christmas Day. Let's be honest. It must be tough for footballers, and that's another good point. Like darts players, I mean, they don't get their Christmas, although technically, diet nutrition has never been something that's been a strong point with darts players, to be fair. So I'm sure they enjoy themselves regardless, as long as they don't have a game. Do you watch the darts, Johnny, or are you a man who will sit back and relax and enjoy it, or are you a man who just completely avoids the whole thing?
No, in fairness though, like various Christmases I did enjoy it, especially like if you it's not a bad thing to have a small bet on as well if you're that way inclined over the Christmas. And in fairness, there's always that debate, is darts a sport? And we were talking about the pre-show about the quality of the 180, but I think in terms of mental fortitude and that, now, back in the day, I mean, you were probably, your mental fortitude was probably as you were getting tanked up drinking while he's playing at the tournament. I think that day is kind of gone, and in fairness, like, it is quite gripping, and it's kind of a bit of a laddish thing to watch, like a lot of, like, tanked up lads kind of shouting and roaring and singing songs and, having a bit of crack, but like, as a spectacle, it's far from the worst.
Yeah, and like I know Jerry Gilroy, who's normally presenting this very show, calls it Brexit down the pub, but he's got a point. I know where he's coming from, but it's definitely in terms of difficulty. Like anyone who's ever tried to throw darts at a dartboard in a pub or in their gaff knows exactly how difficult it is. Not an easy sport, as you said. Mental fortitude that it requires. Quite serious. Like, yeah, it is quite a laddie. That there is that culture about the whole sport. There's no doubt about it. Fallon Sherrock has done a lot in the sport in recent years to kind of change that attitude and become the first woman to win at Alexandra Palace in a World Championship match a couple of years ago. Really has put a face in the map. She's probably the most well-known darts player in the world right now, aside from Michael van Gerwen and Van Barneveld and Gerwyn Price and these guys. She's up there in the top 5 without a shadow of a doubt for what she has done.
And actually, if we were to have a virtual insanity type answer for the darts here from the boy Hannon, who are you tipping up to win it this year?
It's hard to look past Michael van Gerwen for me. Like, Gerwyn Price won it very impressively last year for the first time. But I remember speaking to Michael van Gerwen a couple of years ago, interviewed him on Off the Ball, and he's a lovely lad. Always over in Ireland doing exhibitions as well. I think he used to be a plumber when he was younger, and once worked on Dennis Bergkamp's toilet, if I'm not mistaken, as a Dutchman. He ended up one day. I don't know what the exact scenario was that found himself in that position, but Holland must be a small country. But Johnny, will I go through, so this is something I was planning on doing in this morning's show, and for anyone sitting on the fence, the top 5 reasons why we love the darts. So for anyone kind of tuning in who's a darts fan, you don't really need convincing as to why you watch the darts and why you love the darts.
Get up this early in the morning?
Maybe not. Maybe they're still celebrating from last night's matches. But I know we have a couple of darts fans in the Off the Ball parish. I know Richie McCormick and Phil Egan and others are quite There are
a lot of weirdos in Off the Ball. They're just interested in all these obscure sports and able to talk about it as well.
Yeah, well, this is it. We cover a lot of bases, Johnny. But I'll run through a couple of the reasons, right? So these are the top 5 reasons why we love the darts. I'll run through them very quickly. So anyone can play it. So we had Florian Hempel, Johnny. That's a name you might not have heard. But he defeated a German player, Martin Schindler, 3-0 in the first round on Sunday evening. But that might not
Schindler's List of Woes must have been the headline, obviously.
Absolutely perfect. I was waiting for you to say it.
There we go.
But it was his debut. But the really interesting thing was he only took up darts 4 years ago. So he started in a flat in Cologne. Had a week's vacation. He said he started playing a little in his flat, ordered a board On Friday, he went to a tournament and won the tournament. That's 4 years ago. And again last night, Johnny, he knocks out Dimitri Van den Berg. So Van den Berg is one of the top players of the tournament. Hempel played unbelievable, a brilliant 11-dart leg against the fifth seed in the against the throw in to take the first set. Never looked back. Wins by 3-1. So that's one of the reasons you can take up darts and win a couple of games of the World Championship in 4 years' time if you want. We've got Irish interest as well. Johnny Keane Barry unfortunately knocked out the young 19-year-old Meath thrower. But a really, really great future in the game for him. We've got Carlos Steve Lennon taking on Mervyn King, a big name for sure in the best of 7 sets, third round. Daryl Gurney is another. He's already beaten Ricky Evans by 3-1, and he's got a big name in the next round. It's either going to be Rob Cross, the 2018 world champion, or the 5-time champion Raymond van Barneveld. You've got Willie O'Connor as well from Limerick, who plays Glenn Durant this afternoon, actually, in round 2. And then Brendan Dolan from Enniskillen, one of the well-known names as well. 23rd seed, plays Callan Rids from England tomorrow. And Johnny, I just want to bring people a couple of quick video clips that kind of highlight the fans and the impact that the fans have on the sport.
Darts is nothing without the fans.
It's nothing without the fans. The first
nothing
video
without the
here,
booze either, really, is it? I mean, if darts were an event where it was like a prohibition era event, would anyone go to it?
This is the issue. Like it was behind closed doors
in
the tournament last year. Yeah, it's a weird sport behind closed doors. It doesn't really make sense. You can do all the fake crowd noises you want all day long, but without that live atmosphere, it's nothing. This first video, Johnny, that I wanted to bring people, a very short one. Boris Johnson. We know he's lost the dressing room in the UK at the minute. He's lost the fans at the darts as well. Have a look and a close listen to the chant at the darts the other day.
So stand up if you hate Boris, was it?
Stand up if you hate Boris. There was also a sign being held up by one of the fans in the background. This is a business meeting, which I thought was very tongue-in-cheek. So that's excellent. I mean, stand up if you hate Boris. That's it. He's lost the fans, Johnny. He's lost the fans at the darts. So
that is pretty class. Carl Mullaney's just come in and brought me, because I'm a bit of an invalid at the moment, he's brought me a coffee, which is just a sign of the man, really. And he will shortly be here for the news round with Shane. Any other reasons to love the darts? Yeah,
there's one other very short video, Johnny, I wanted to bring people, and people will have seen this. So 9-dart finish is quite amazing, and there's often a discussion, where does it rank in terms of sporting individual achievements? Like, people often compare it to the 147 in snooker. I think possibly the 147 is slightly more skilled. It's quite more, it's quite rare as well. We don't see 147s at the World Snooker Championship too often. We had one last year, and I think previous one was 2012, Stephen Hendry, so there was a nice gap. But without a doubt, the 9-dart finish is something to behold. And that we had the one with the Scottish player, Willie Borland, the young guy, hit a 9-dart finish in a deciding leg on December 17th, 5 days ago, to reach the second round. The first darts player in history to ever win a televised match with a 9-dart leg, which was really, really incredible. And then the Lithuanian thrower as well, Darius Labanauskas, a second 9-darter within 24 hours before he was sent packing in the very same game by Mike de Decker on Saturday afternoon. But the crowd goes into ruptures. World Championships that have featured multiple 9-dart legs, 2013, 2014, and now this year's World Darts Championship. So it's a rare enough thing to get a couple. 6, though, of the 12 9-darters hit at Alexandra Palace have been in losing causes. So you can still hit a 9-darter and lose. But there's this great video, Johnny. I mentioned how amazing the 9-dart finish is. So the gentleman in the crowd here in this video certainly enjoyed seeing one 9-darter in person the other day. This video is courtesy of Sky Sports' Emma Payton on Twitter. So have a quick look. So, I mean,
I don't think he did that for, the way, like, social media is so dominant now and phones are everywhere that you do stuff like that and imply that it's kind of organic, but you're being filmed. I don't think that was the case here.
It seemed, now, he's either the best actor in the world or he did it remarkably well. He seemed...
the stoicism out of him, like, this is kind of like, I'm going to do this. I mean, it reflects the severity of what's happened here.
Exactly. And like, for people listening on a podcast who didn't get to see that clip, essentially he watches the 9-darter, sees it in person. He's obviously had a couple of lagers across the day, you'd imagine, as you tend to do with the darts. He takes off his hat, first of all, which I should point out. So he was concerned about what might happen to his hat, and then pours an entire pint of lager over his head, covering his clothes. So clearly concerned about the hat and absolutely nothing else. But I think that little moment, and you always catch things in the crowd at the darts that just make you laugh and just, you want to see these things in person. There's also a clip, Johnny. I want to bring people this clip because just to finish up on the darts, showboating players. I love when players are cocky in any sport, no matter what it is, are confident about themselves. But there's a match the other day. Boris Koltsov, he's a Russian. He's entered the hearts and minds of darts fans the world over. So he's playing in the first round this week in London, won his first round match, managed to send the crowd into hysterics as he did so. So essentially, he had missed a few match darts. This is the context, Johnny. And then he has these 3 darts in hand to win the match. And the crowd are geeing him up. They're kind of starting to boo. And he is just smirking. He's smirking, getting the crowd on his side, loving the attention that he's getting. This is a clip here as Koltsov closes out Jermaine Watamena, the number 37 player in the world. Have a listen.
Boris Koltsov has missed 4 darts to win. Now the crowd getting involved.
I think he likes it.
He smiled there like a Bond villain. He's smiling now like a winner of the World Championship. Russian royalty at the alley pally. Go on, Boris.
That music
on,
has
Boris.
just gotten me going there, just right there.
Yeah, I mean,
Shane, you've run way over the time here in the darts. It's supposed to be like a 90-second discussion that you've turned into about 15 minutes at this stage.
Yeah, Johnny's Tommy, producer's texting me here, telling me to essentially shut up, which I will do. But Johnny, that's why I love the darts. I couldn't stop talking there. Apologies, guys.
Yeah, for Shane Hannon this morning is no score. Yeah, that'll be. What's that event that goes on in January? Is it the one that's not as good? The BDO.
BDOs, yeah, the BDO World Championship. So we used to have the BDO, it became the PDC. Like, of those 5 World Championships that I mentioned, the Raymond van Barneveld has won, like 4 of them were BDO, and 1 of them has been PDC. That's because the BDO used to be the main dog in town. Now it's absolutely atrocious. I've said before, I could probably enter the BDO myself and win a match, which is an exaggeration.
And well, you might. Thank you, Shane.
Cheers, Johnny.